Hello and welcome to Tarot with Tanya. This is a reading for Monday, November 20th to the 26th. And yes, you hear a kitty in the background. I'm taking care of a best friend's cat this week. So, thank you for being here. And as always, take what resonates for you, leave the rest behind. It's a general reading for the collective here. And we begin our week with the moon in Pisces, and by next Sunday, the moon will be in Taurus, and then that night moving into Gemini. Also this week, we have the sun moving into Sagittarius on Wednesday, and hopefully that'll lighten things up a bit. Scorpio has great gifts, as all signs do, but it's also a lot of depth, and it can be emotional, hard work, and there's been some, intense energies expressed in the world. And part of this also is that we'll have Mars moving into Sagittarius later as well this week. So let me go through the rest first. So Wednesday, again, the sun moves into Sagittarius. Thursday, the sun squares Saturn right on the holiday if you celebrate that. Thanksgiving, and that could feel kind of restricted. It could be one of those things where you need to watch what you say, or feel like you need to watch what you say. Perhaps there's, family, some kind of tension issues or whatever there, but just be aware of that. It passes, and it could just be good to focus on getting things done in a way as much as you can before you take some time and celebrate if you do that. On Friday, that's when Mars moves into Sagittarius, and I think that will be a better expression on the planet. It has been very intense energies, as you all know. With that Mars in Scorpio, and this might make things a bit more even keel. It's a fire sign, and Mars, rules Aries, likes fire. So I think it'll be a little happier there, and hopefully more philosophical, more judicious, which is what Sagittarius can represent. And then by Saturday, we also do have Mars squaring Saturn, which could create some stress. It could be the kind of thing where you take the friction and do something really useful with it. Just maybe mind the words, because the Mars energy can be the sharp words, and Saturn can be kind of intense, a little righteous sometimes. But if used more mindfully, they can be very helpful in being thoughtful about our actions and our words. All right, so that's the astrological stuff for the week. And then the cards this week actually are really rather lovely. We ended up with 3 majors, so that's powerful, and a pair of royal swords, and then a pair of wands as well. So on our Monday, the 20th, we have the Sun card, and I'm using the Morgan Greer deck. So the Sun often does have some kind of couple. There might be a couple of angels, a couple of kids. Here we have a human couple. But that's to signify that all is well, that there's been some integration of the divine masculine and feminine within the self. And it's just a really sunny outlook. So great energy for that Monday. Even if things seem a little dark, and here where I am in Iowa, things are literally a little dark because we have a very overcast day, but that sun is within, and so respond to that, see the light shed on things. Tuesday, we have our second major card. I'm bringing it a little closer, and that's our Empress. representing bounty, the deep feminine, the divine feminine, and I should have said that too with the sun, it's also the divine masculine. So there's more of that balance that I was mentioning in the sun card, just between these two. So there's love, there's plenty for everyone. I mean, it could be a good spirit of preparation for the Thanksgiving week. Again, if you celebrate that, or just, giving gratitude, maybe energies with female friends, things like that. A lot of goodness. If there's a dark side to that one, it can be sort of being overwhelmed by that deep feminine energy. But, keep it in balance with the sun and it will be wonderful. By the time we get to Wednesday, and that's that day that the sun moves to Sagittarius, we have the Queen of Swords. And this is an air energy, and Sagittarius is a fire, but air and fire get along quite well. They're both masculine energies, the air stirring up the fire, feeding the fire. And this, of course, bringing in a feminine element as well because it's a queen. So she has a lot of ability with words, with thoughts, with communication. She can cut through things with some clarity. And then again, a bit on the dark side can be a little sharp with that. So we want to watch that. We know that energy of the sun moving to Sagittarius, you might feel it, you might not, but it could be a bit of an exciting energy in some ways and bring that shift. So, using that word and mental energy well that day, softening it up with some feminine. What's interesting is that on Thursday, the day of the holiday here in the States, we have her counterpart, the King of Swords. So they are the royal couple that end the suit of the swords. And he has many of the same qualities, even stronger in some ways, and without quite the softening that she has. So perhaps Thursday's a good day for balancing out those two, using our speech effectively, wisely, and perhaps genuinely, but somewhat, I don't want to say cautiously exactly, but if we're mindful about it, I think it will make things go smoother. So there might be a little bit of standing your own ground this week. And if we can do that with loving detachment, that'll probably work much better. I mean, people make the joke about you have to go and have dinner with the crazy uncle or aunt or whatever relative or friend. And, I feel like the cards in some ways are addressing that this week. So just to try to stay in your true self, in your own power, not feeling that you are disempowered or need power over others, but keeping that balance. And then when we get to Friday, which can be a great leftover day, we have the Page of Rods or the Page of Wands. You might know it as a fire element. And something that brings in news. It can feel like an instinct that suddenly you have a recognition. You might even get those little hairs standing up on the back of the neck. Something might come in a flash. And that is that day that Mars enters Sag. And I just felt like that was so appropriate. Mercury is the planet we think of as the messenger and Mars the warrior. But it feels like there's a bit of Mars having a new message, as I basically mentioned in the intro to this today, that when he goes there, hopefully there is a more philosophical energy that comes with that, a more balanced one, more of a sense of justice that comes along with it as well. So, that's more in the macro. In the micro, it could be a person who brings in a new fiery energy, or again, some sort of personal message that hits you in the instinctual self. Then on Saturday, we get that third major that I mentioned, and another very divine feminine energy with the moon. The moon is always a little hard to read. We'll have to know those energies. At this point, the moon would be in Taurus, which is a very feminine, earthy energy. The moon rules Cancer, but it's not quite in water at that point. So it's the instinctual self, again, the divine feminine self, allowing emotions to come up and doing that in a trusting way, knowing that if we can feel but not necessarily react or be reactionary, at least we may need to take some action. That may be part of it. Sorry, I've got a little hair here tickling my nose somehow. That would be our best use of this energy to honor what might be coming up from our deep intuition as well, and knowing that, you know, if it's something uncomfortable, this too shall pass. The moon is changing constantly, moving, you know, from sign to sign about every 2.5 days. So it won't last that long, but it can be a wonderful window into that more feminine, deep self through your own intuition, or maybe you observe it in others as well, or instead. And we end our week with another fiery energy, our Two of Rods or Two of Wands. And sometimes this is shown as a sort of almost a contest between two people or two energies. Here, he holds his rod in one hand, and if you can come in close, it's a little bit hard, I know there's glare and so forth, but you see that set of blue gloves, and that's the person that we mostly see. But there's another set of gloves, looks like leather gloves, kind of that pale yellowish leather there, holding the other one. So balancing that energy out, letting both be in the picture, I feel like is what this is saying. So if there is something a bit challenging or maybe even something exciting, bring it fully into the picture. Let it be there. Know that it helps balance things out, and that if there's a little bit of a competitive energy with it or whatever, that's okay. Just have fun with it. Enjoy it. So overall, again, we have 3 majors, so there's flow and harmony there. We have a pair of wands and a pair of swords. We have the divine masculine and the divine feminine, pretty much in equal measure here. So it should be a fairly balanced week. And then, you know, just keep mindful of that astrological stuff to help you navigate the week as well. I also pulled a card from the Oracle deck, the Winged Enchantment. Actually, it flew out. And when that happens, I tend to honor it as long as it's just, you know, 1 or 2 cards. In this case, it was just 1. And it was Mockingbird. And it happens to be a number 22 in this deck, which is a master number. And I just felt like that was important too. So let me give you a visual. All of these cards, if you're new to this deck, to this channel, show the birds, and somehow they are integrated into a woman as well. So Mockingbird. I am Mockingbird, master of integration. I am imitation. I am the ability to take what I hear and make it something of my own. I am observation and implementation. You may need to incorporate more into your sphere of influence. You may be required to listen for new signals around you. I am the necessity of learning from experience. I am the power of applying everything I retain. Listen to new people, hear new songs, speak new languages. And I don't take that too literally, but, you know, listening to the wind, listening to the earth, to the fire, etc. I am voice without fear. That is so important because fear is such an entrapment. I'm the ability to discern my own purpose from that of others. Imitate only to learn, and then create your own vision. You are complexity of expression. You are a song in the darkness. You are open-minded. You are mockingbird. So, beloveds, I really hope that that helps you for the week, that you find some peace and contentment, that you can navigate easily any little rough spots or tense spots that might come up. If you are interested in a personal reading, there'll be information below in the description box and some at the end of the video. And I thank you again for being here. And if you're so inclined, please like, share, and subscribe. And a happy week of gratitude to you all.